actually ask just like a genuine question to the people of the United States right now with everything that's happening around current situations in the world. Do you guys remember that there are so many more of you than there is of him? What would happen if you all just went on strike and just didn't comply? Genuine question.
I know I'm not the only person that's been seeing this type of video on my FYP the past few days, especially from people living in foreign countries, and I have thus far told myself I'm not going to respond to it because a lot of it is going to be rage bait, and I'm not going to engage in rage bait in 2026. But this one was a genuine question, so I'm going to give you a genuine answer. Bluntly, we can't afford to. We can't afford to go on strike. Let's start with the fact that most of us don't get any sort of funding from the government. Most of us get all of our funding, all of our money, all of our benefits, and everything from the job that we have. On top of that, most companies do not have unions, and therefore collective bargaining does not exist. If we were to strike, we would be fired. If we are fired for striking, we now have no health insurance, no money to pay our rent, no money for food, no child care, no money to pay back our student loans. The vast majority of Americans actually don't own homes, so if we cannot afford our rent, we are now evicted and on the street. If you do not have health insurance, you cannot afford your prescriptions. If you cannot afford your prescriptions, you will get sick and go to the hospital. If you cannot afford insurance, guess who pays the out-of-pocket cost for the hospital? You do. If you cannot afford that, guess what happens? Your credit score goes down. Guess what happens if your credit score goes down? You cannot get a loan. Guess what happens if you cannot get a loan? You cannot afford anything else day to day that's going to cost you more than what a paycheck would monthly. If you lose your job because you were striking and you cannot afford childcare anymore, you cannot get a new job because you cannot take that child with you to a job interview that is seen as unprofessional. We do not have universal pre-K. You cannot get somebody under 4 years old into school. You have to pay for childcare or have a family member help you. Because things are so expensive nowadays, most of us actually do not even have a savings account. I, for one, have a full-time job, two if you include this, and I still only have $5,000 in my account. That is 2 months of rent without any employment. And with that being said, I still have more money than a vast majority of Americans. And for all the comments saying that the Americans just can't fathom being a little bit uncomfortable with a strike and we might lose health insurance, we have no safety net. Do you understand how many people will die if we just give up our job to say, we're gonna strike, and for what? You think it's gonna stop anything? We understand things are bad, not just domestically, but internationally. We don't need to be reminded of that. I hope this is a genuine answer to a genuine question. We can't afford it.